A big welcome. My belief is we are live. I am going to go and check in my phone in 1 minute, and we have a brand new training. I have a brand new training for you. This is the 3 pillars to launch a highly successful online fitness coaching programs. And this is for the attention of booked up personal trainers, bootcamp semi-private owners, bootcamp and semi-private studio owners, and nutrition experts. Now, I am going to go into the content. Before I do that, I do need to double check that this is recording. My hope is that if anyone is live, they can give me a yes, it's recording. In fact, if you're watching this on a replay, tell me that you're watching it on a replay as well. I will dive into the content, but of course, I want to make sure that you're all getting this. This is for you. Okay, look at that, and the wonderful new. Excellent. And the wonderful new camera, as you can see as well. This is for you if you are a personal trainer in the gym. This is definitely for you if you've worked hard to educate yourself. And you look around yourself in the gym and you're one of the more experienced trainers there. And you certainly have pride in the fact that you're good at what you've done. You've done the courses. You've invested money in actually understanding how to train your clients. And sometimes you kind of don't like necessarily being sort of thrown in the same bucket as all of the rep counters that was in the gym. Nothing wrong with them, but that's my experience when I was back in the day in Fitness First. You've done the courses, earn your stripes. You've most likely been in the industry sort of 2-3 years, even a bit longer. But here's the problem, right? We get to a point where we wanting to take this seriously. We do take it seriously. It's a career, it's a job, it's a business. But there's only so many hours in the day. We get capped. For me, it was, I didn't really want to work every single evening. At first, when I was the most busy, I wanted the income. I was chasing more and more money. I wanted to improve my life, improve the life of the people around me. And I would do the traditional split shift, which was in the morning, not that much to do in the day, and then obviously come back in the evening. And I got to a point where, I'll be honest, I was clock watching. It was a matter of, and in fact, one time a client caught me clock watching, that would be strange, wouldn't it? It caught me clock watching. I don't know if that should stay in, but it's going to. He actually said something to me. He goes, I think he said something like, have you got somewhere to be? Because I kept looking at the clock like that. Didn't mean to. I was just so bored of the Groundhog Day. And in the end, he was right. It's like, these clients are paying me good money, but I'm a little bit bored. I'm unfulfilled with what I'm doing. Definitely, I wanted to earn more money, and I realized that just having this one income stream, it was inflexible. I had got to the point where probably you're not going to charge a lot more. So I want to go through how you can go from that situation to launching your first online coaching program. Of course, launching it with high ticket, high paid, mindset focused online coaching, which is what I'm going to go through today. So listen, this training is not for you. It's definitely not for you if you're already doing sort of $8, $10, $15,000 a month from online. This probably won't necessarily make sense to you. There's stuff that we've got that will, but this certainly isn't. If you're a total beginner, you're welcome to be here. And I'd love you to still watch, but it's probably not going to be for you as well. And this is definitely not for you if you're a personal trainer who doesn't think that results, outcomes for your clients starts in the mind. That's not something that you agree with. This probably, to be honest, this group is probably not for you either. So it's for educated personal trainers who have done the courses. They want to take a next further step. They do see their, like I did. I knew that I considered at one point, doing something else. I was so unfulfilled. I was so bored. And I had this narrative in my mind. It's like, I would do something else. Honestly, if there'd been something else that I could have been highly paid in somewhere else, I may have done it. Now, I didn't take that thought too seriously because I knew that I loved what I did. I loved impacting people. I just needed a different way of doing it. So stay on if that's you as well. And, I say rep counters. There was guys in the gym which I actually genuinely liked. There was a couple of guys, one of them just an Essex dude. He didn't care. Like, he would laugh when people pointed out the fact that every single one of his clients got the same program. And he didn't care. He was just stacking them back to back. He just was collecting money and he owned it. But that wasn't me. I actually wanted to have a proper career, right? So listen, I'm going to go through three key things that you need to understand. Three key pillars, shifts of understanding. Now, some of you are going to be watching this live, some of you are going to be watching it on recording. I am interested, who here, this is a question that I actually want you to engage in, even if you're watching this as a recording, who here is selling expensive stuff online? Or who here would like to know how to sell expensive stuff online? The caveat to my slightly crass wording is that you want to sell expensive stuff online, but you want to sell stuff that is value, high value, and then of course you should be rewarded and paid what you're worth. So give me a shout in the comments if you're watching this. If you're doing the live, same thing as well. Or if you're looking at a replay, same thing as well. Yes, Tim, I'm selling expensive stuff online. No, Tim, I would like to be able to sell stuff online in the future. Now, what are the three pillars? Well, three pillars for personal trainers who want to bolt in a second income stream so they can add 3 to 5K from a new way of working with their clients. Again, this training is not for you if you're already doing 10 grand a month online. There's other trainings we've got that would be useful. This is probably not going to be one of them. It might be, you're like, Tim, you're telling me to suck eggs, right? Totally cool. Right. Now, I'm going to cover the three biggest pillars, the pillars that we need to go through. But I just want to add some misconceptions, first of all, right? That people still hold in the industry, even in 2024. Number one is time. Number two is past failure. And number three is the unknown. If you're in the gym, like I was, like my biggest challenge was that I was actually successful-ish. Like, no, I was successful in the gym. I was one of the better trainers. I was certainly charging a little bit more than everyone else. And I had a lot of hours. I was exhausted by Saturday because I was successful. Remember one time I went on holiday and literally the day I got there just fell apart. Like I'd just been working non-stop and I was away and I was just in pieces for 2 days. Maybe my central nervous system was just like, I've had enough. So my biggest issue was time, right? The idea of building, and back in the day, right, the idea of building a online business, this whole nother business at that point felt a little bit overwhelming. I just felt like there's no way I'd have the time in the week. I think a lot of people, there's past failures. So many people have tried at some level to add online in. It's kind of worked, it's not worked. They paid a mentor a lot of money. It just didn't vibe with them. It didn't align with how they wanted to do it. They've done a course, they've got advice. Most people have been through that. And so we let those past failures affect us. What we don't realize is maybe I just made, maybe I just didn't find the solution that was right for me. And there's another bucket, which is just the unknown. It's just like, it's almost like headspace. It's like, I just don't know what I don't know, or I can't get my head round it. I don't get what could possibly go into a program that would make someone spend 2 grand on it, 2,000. So I'm going to go through all this and I'm going to cover it in the three pillars. So what are the three pillars? We're going to go through creation. We're going to go through selling the thing and marketing the thing. And we're going to go through delivering the thing. So let me start with creation. Now, we need to look at what people think is the best thing to do when they're starting to create the program, create the business model, create how you're going to do this. When you're in the gym, it's kind of simple, right? I mean, maybe it's 45 minutes. Maybe it's an hour. That's about it. You're going to decide the style of training that you do with people. Of course, we all had different individual ways of doing it, but it was kind of, you know, it's what it does on the tin. It was pretty standard, right? Whereas when you go online, there's just a multitude. Literally, there's so many ways of doing it. And so we go and we decide, like, we're going to create. And what a lot of people think is, I'm going to create a program, business model that I'm going to go and get clients and they're going to pay me like 147, 197 a month. And there's reasons why you might think that. There's reasons why a lot of people in the industry think that. Number one, I would say the person who has one of the biggest reaches in the industry, that's the model that he generally suggests. Number two, I Googled this actually, how to price, how to create the program, etc. And I found two resources. I found one from one of the biggest personal trainer online platforms, Trainerize, and I went in and I looked, and there was a conversation with someone. By the way, again, I'm not just my opinion, right? And they were talking about the way they priced it, which was $50 a week. And no, if the person wanted nutrition help as well, they would add some on for that. So I'm kind of getting to this place where it's like $200 a month. And then I was kind of thinking, well, you know, if there's a bit extra, I don't know, $200, $250, $300 a month in English, that's about 200 quid, 250. It's like, you know what? The real reason I think a lot of people think that's the place to go is it's kind of anchored to where they are right now with what they're used to charging their clients. You see a client once a week for an hour in the gym, you're probably looking at 200, maybe 250, maybe 300. Again, we're sort of swapping between dollars and pounds here, but we get that gist. Now, one of the good things that's happened is we seem to have lost the old everyone can do online, and it's this like much cheaper version of a way to get fit than personal training, because what personal trainers realized is when they all went and tried online is actually more time consuming than you might think. It's not just an automation. And so we got to this price point, which is just generally what the industry thinks, right? Now, I don't think that's true. And I think this is my first insight for you. When we're deciding on the creation of the program, we need to look at two things: the value and the value proposition. The value and the value proposition. So you can choose low price and low value. You can choose high value and low price, or you can choose high value and high price. Two out of those three work for sure. One is an absolute terrible place to be. And that one is when you go out and you create this high value program, a lot of your time, a lot of your interaction with these clients, yet you choose a low value price. Because you will one day get to a point where you're stuck in front of a laptop for 12 hours and you'll wish you could be in a gym for 12 hours with clients, because online is quite tiring. You cannot be in front of a laptop for 12 hours. It's absolutely exhausting. And so we can just take that version. It's not, take it off the table. And then you're at a situation where, okay, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to go for the low price and low value, or am I going to go for the high price and high value? And sometimes people are like, Tim, I'll do both. And again, I think that's a fundamental mistake. So my opinion, my way of doing things, and my gift to you, and here's the key. If you are a personal trainer who's busy, if you are a personal trainer who has lots of hours currently, and you want to add this next income stream in, this new way of doing things, while not just decimating, you're not just going to lose all of your clients and leave them in the dust, right? You need something that's time efficient. For me, the quickest way of earning a good amount of money from my knowledge, from packaging up what I know, was going to be charging high prices for it. Because you know what? I thought I should be paid what I'm worth, because I knew I was worth something. I knew I was good. The way I'd look at this is, okay, Tim, but I want to do all of them, or should I not start off low value, low price, and then go up? And the best way I've heard this explained is the Tesla model. Now, this was first explained to me about 5 or 6 years ago, and back then it made sense. Now, my God, does it make sense? And what was said to me back then, 5 years ago, when Tesla weren't the biggest car company in the world, was that the way Tesla first launched, they did not go and launch a cheap car. In fact, what they did is the exact opposite. They went and launched a expensive, top-tier electronic car. Probably some say the first electronic car that was actually like desirable. High price, high value. $250,000 or whatever it was. The thing is, they didn't need to sell a lot. They were ran by the most successful entrepreneur ever, the richest man in the world at the moment, or top 3 if he's ever dropped out, who knows. And even a guy like that, who had built multiple companies, including PayPal, knew that he wasn't going to start cheap and go up. He was going to start expensive, high value, high perception of value, and it was always in his plan to go down, to release steadily more accessible versions. And that's exactly my gift from you for you on this part, is that decide how you want to do this. Don't do them all at once, because it's a lot of work. It's hard. You don't have the time. Choose one. My advice is, even if you want to come to a point where you have a version that's more accessible, you don't have a lot of time in the week, you don't have a lot of time in your day, go out, create a incredibly high value, high touch point offer, program, business model, and you do not need a lot of clients on that. I'm going to go through that. You charge 2K. I mean, if you're in the gym and you do, I don't know, $4, $5, $6, $3, $7,000 a month, who knows? How much extra would you need to add in to get up to the sort of fabled 10K? You probably need a couple of clients a month, building up to a couple of clients a month. Then we go to marketing. Marketing the program, selling the program, getting the leads, right? What most people think that they need to do is that it's going to take all of this time and all of this headspace. They think they're going to have to run Facebook ads, complicated funnels. Think they're going to be getting branding, building an email list, building a website. And therefore, it's going to take hours and hours and hours of every single day for 6 months. I remember I had a conversation with someone. I spoke to them 6 months ago, 6 months later, and they were still building the program, the funnels, all of this stuff. I was just like, my God, no wonder they're not getting anywhere. They were busy in the day, right? So that's what most people, when they're in the gym, they think that it's going to have to put all of this marketing collateral together to be able to actually start making money from doing this, right? And it's just simply not true, right? Here's what you need to do. In fact, I'm going to tell you why I think that that's often the perspective. And it occurred to me the other day. You get these ads, right? By the way, I'm not against these people, these mentors. I'm a mentor myself, right? I'm not against it. You get a lot of ads from people which are like how to build a 6-7 figure business, all of that kind of stuff. And I think it's, I think it's awesome. I love it when people see that sort of success. I'm like, hell yes. Look at the amount of people that we can impact when we do that. And if you're thinking that you're in the gym, if you're in the gym and your whole mindset or the way that you're viewing this is, I'm going to talk about getting from where I am now to hitting my 6-figure business. You're going to need a lot of that complicated stuff. You're going to definitely need that at some point. But the way I break it down is like, that's what these ads are telling you. And it's like, that shouldn't be the way that you think about this. The way that you think about this is launching a case study version of what you do. Like some people call it a beta version. I prefer it's just like the first version of what I do. And to do that, if I've decided that, you know what, I actually want to have an impact with my clients, I'm going to price it accordingly so I can invest a bit more of my time with people, giving them the nutrition help, the guidance, the training stuff, the adjustments, actually have some access to them and let them have access to me. I don't need a load of clients. So my strong suggestion is a mindset shift more than anything else. And it's like, I'm in the gym, don't focus on 6 figures, don't focus on the first 10K month, focus on getting your first of all, get your first client in, right? But then you want to launch this case study with generally about 5, 6 to 10 clients, that kind of thing, right? Let's say it's your first 6 clients. Well, that's not worth it. There's no point. I want to know, where do I get all of these clients for the long term? So when a client comes into you and the first week they're training with you, you know that you would love to get them up, showing my experience in personal training world, but when I was in the gym, Poliquin was huge, right? So we'd all read his stuff and it was like, would I have someone come in at the beginning and they were a guy and they're like, I want to get ripped, I want to get lean and swole. It's like, in my mind at some point I might get him to do German volume training, 10 sets of 10. But they ain't doing it straight away. And they don't even need to think about that. They just need to do the basics first. The first 8 weeks, 12 weeks. Like, get them training, get them actually learning how to do this. Even if they were going to say, Tim, I want to do this German volume training, I'm like, look, mate, yes, fine. In the future, let's just focus on now. That's my advice to you. 6 clients, 7 clients, 8 clients, get 10 clients. The price point, right, if you think about it, what would a cash injection of, let's lowball it, 6 clients, on average of $1,500. What would a cash injection of nearly $10,000 do? If in the next 90 days, in fact, let me ask you this question, right? This is going to be a question I'd love people to put in the comments. What would you do if in 90 days you had an extra 10 grand in your bank, $10,000? What would you do with it? I've asked this question on workshops before, and I would get like pay off debts, pay off credit cards, put it towards saving for a mortgage, buy a new car, take my family on holiday, educate myself, do more courses. I'd have a couple of people that thought they were funny, like blow it on hookers and coke and go to Vegas. Like whatever your whatever your what you would like to, what are your values? Write in the comments what you would actually do. And so we could put a situation in where we're going out and we're getting what I call the 3 C's: cash, confidence, and clients. So of course people think that this is like, hey, I need to think about how I put everything in place for the big 6-figure business multi. And of course at some point you do need to do that for sure. But at first it's just like, you don't have a lot of time. It's that first shift. If you could get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 clients, run them through a program, at the end you get what I call the 3 C's: cash, confidence, and clients, and then you can have the extra C, which is case studies. If you did that in 5 months' time now and you had all of that extra on top of what you're doing now, I wonder what that would feel like. Now, I'd give you the last thing that people think at this point. It's like, well, okay, so I'm not going to run ads. Where am I going to get these clients from? And the way that I look at this is you have a scale that you charge. It's not even whether the program is the best. It's just you navigating your own sort of learning, your own sales process, your own improving the marketing and the sales. Right? And most people are like, they used to be a lot more than they are now. They're like, I don't know anyone that would pay me $1,000. So let's say you started and you launched at $1,000 and you wanted to work up to charge $2,000, which I think is a perfectly reasonable amount. No one I know, no one in my network that I know that's on my social medias, that's a past client, that could be a referral, could be a client that I used to work with that's moved away, could be a client that's where I am now but's got people that he could refer to me that aren't in the same location as me. It could be people that can't get into the gym. It could just be people on social media, on my social media platforms. They've never shown an interest, but maybe it's because we've not put the right offer in front of them or option. And so most people don't balk at the idea of charging $50 an hour for a personal training session. By the way, I'm doing this on purpose. I'm lowballing it. In London, you're talking $100 an hour for an okay personal trainer. But let's go all the way down to someone who's like, it's not in the best, most affluent area. $50 an hour. Like, that's what personal trainers charge. Okay, so if someone comes to see a personal trainer in those areas, that's $100 an hour. My missus' daughter, who's 24, her friends are 24. They have personal trainers. I live near Brighton. They probably charge $75. They probably pay $75 an hour for personal trainers. These are 24-year-olds. Right? Let's be clear. It's not hard to get your head round people paying $50 for a personal training session and doing it twice a week. So twice a week, that's $100. Times that by 12, which is a 12-week program. People are already charging $1,200. And I've lowballed the shit out of all of that. We just need to help people see why they would take their spend on getting rep counters in the gym or getting their reps counted in the gym to getting a more holistic, wide-ranging program that covers everything that they need for a true transformation. I've helped nearly 400 fit pros do this. I've helped nearly 400 fit pros make those first steps. And generally speaking, while the aim is that they finish the first program that they do with me at around the sort of 2.5K mark, not everyone does. They're starting at around the sort of 800, 900, 1200 mark at first. It's not out of the realms of possibility. Of course, when you've got cash confidence in clients and some money in the bank, and you've got some case studies, and you've got like, okay, yeah, I this works, you can then start putting more focus on the long-term strategy of the kind of marketing machine that you need to build if you want to build a six-figure business. Right, so last thing that we're going to talk about, delivery. Like, here's the, again, this is a misconception. Most personal trainers in the gym, they've either tried this or seen other people giving advice on how to do this, or it's just their perception of what it would be, that they're going to have to write complicated training programs. They're going to be like hours writing nutrition plans, creating modules for their online program, you know, even, and there's a fear that even with all doing that, I'm going to get these clients, I'm going to have to almost babysit them because I don't have them next to me in a gym. Like, I'm gonna have to do all these Loom check-ins. I'm gonna have to be able to WhatsApp me whenever they want. I'm gonna end up being padlocked. There's no way that I can sort of compartmentalize working with these clients while also fully focusing on my clients in the gym, making sure that that business doesn't fall apart. And I totally get why people think that's the way it's going to work, right? It's often because, I'll be honest, if I look back at my personal, and I was a good personal trainer, I tried to get my clients to follow my nutrition plans. I wrote them programs to do outside of my sessions. I remember one client I had, and he's called Rob. And I don't think I've ever had a client that worked as hard as him. It was unreal. He, like, literally 10 minutes into the session, he'd be on the floor. And I'd be like, I don't know how he's going to do another 45 minutes. Like, just like from set one. And he'd just keep going. And he trained so hard. And I'd see him because he'd go off and he'd get changed. And you know the little look that you give people, like when you sort of see him in the background, but you're with your new client. You don't want to be rude, but you want to sort of acknowledge him. I'd see him and I'd give him a little wave, and he'd walk up the stairs. We had a little basement, Fitness First. And I'd be like, well, I'm going to see him in a week, and he's going to undo every single rep, every burpee, everything that he just did with me by going and drinking too much, having too many beers with his mates, and having too many curries. And his compliance, whatever I did, just didn't seem to improve. So I had this perception that I was going to have to put so much time, and people do that, I'm going to put so much time into these clients because it takes so much time, right? So how the hell are you going to have the headspace to try and get compliance from clients in a way that seems like it's harder than, you know what, if they're just paying me for an hour in the gym and they come and then they're not doing whatever else, I can't do anything about it, you know what, but they're not paying me for it either. And I think it's a big experience of personal trainers when they first move online, if they make this mistake, which is that I'm just going to take what I do in the gym and almost like repeat that, but do it online. So I'm going to design programs, give it to the person. I'm going to design nutrition plans, give it to the person. And that's it. And for me, the biggest difference with delivery is that we get our heads around where the true value is. In the 12-week blueprint, which is my behavior change coaching methodology, how high paid health coaches can actually justify and charge 2K plus and often more, is because the thing that you're really working on is the mindset shifts. You might get 50% of clients decent results, the ones that are compliant already when you're online. 50% of clients don't do anything. They just don't follow the plans, and they kind of lie to you, and then you think that the way it's going to be solved is writing them another training program and another one, and it never gets any better, and then eventually they leave. The reality is, and this is an important thing that I want people to get their heads around, and it's sometimes hard to understand. The value is in the coaching call. Within the 12-week blueprint, you work on the nutrition stuff, you work on the training stuff, you work on sort of improving habits. But what you also do is have a systematic way to create deep mindset shifts. instead of thinking this like it's going to be all over the place my whole week, I'm going to be chasing these clients, they're going to be messaging me, etc., etc. Actually, you can compartmentalize it that this is a 45-minute Zoom call with my client. And the system that we use, we have a 9-box coaching call method, which tells coaches who want to charge high ticket for their health coaching programs exactly what to do and say on every single 45-minute call through the 12 weeks. And it means that your goal is that they actually don't need support outside those sessions. So if you think about it like this, you can put those 45-minute hour calls in your calendar within the gaps where you've got clients. And your goal on that call is to get everything that your client needs, give them all of the thing they need for a coaching approach, through questions, through making sure that they are the ones that are driving the change, through making sure that they're taking increased ownership and they're the ones that are coming up with the ideas. If you read anything around behavior change, I first learned this when I was doing organizational change. You can't come in organizational change, you can't come in as an external person and just start changing culture. You have to come in and work within the system. You have to work within the people that are there. You have to ask them the right questions so they want to change. It's almost impossible to do it from the outside. So this is exactly what we do in high paid behavior change coaching. We have this 45-minute call. We have a structure where we get everything covered and they go away and they actually do what you say. They do what they say is probably a better way of saying it. So 95% of online coaching programs include none of this. Because what do most mentors do? They used to, in the past, give their clients fuck all, to be honest. They didn't give them anything at all around how to deliver it. Now, you go to most mentors and what they'll do is they'll give you a copy of what they cut and paste of their TrainerWise system, which fine is all good, great, fine, but like there's none of this. There's none of this deep mindset shift stuff. That for me is the game changer, because it means that you spend the right amount of times with your clients and it's compartmentalized in these calls that you do. And then of course you're there to support them, but you don't need to. I first did this, I was astounded when I first did it, that I had a system, I created a system where they just went away and they were compliant. These shifts that I was getting with them, they were having these realizations and they came back and they did everything that I'd asked for them, 2 to 3 things each week at the beginning, start slow, finish fast, all the principles of what we share. And the clients couldn't believe how easy it felt for them to do it. I guess the question could be, right, well, how do I know this is true? I tried to do the maths with the 12-week behavior change blueprint, the actual methodology that we use to be able to allow personal trainers that are used to being in the gym how to learn what I'm talking. And we need a system, we need a structure so that's predictable. And I probably helped nearly 400 coaches do this, like with our paid stuff, and maybe some more when I first started. And then if I also added in the people that have like bought lower price programs of ours, if I really wanted to, I would add in all the people that have got my free content around the 12-week behavior change coaching blueprint. And I've had I've had people that have said, Tim, you know what? I didn't buy your shit, but I watched your trainings and I created that and I did it and it was incredible. I've also had lots of them who then go, I just want to come and buy your stuff as well. So, you know, if I included the 5,000 fit pros, personal trainers that have got access to my systems through either lower paid stuff or my free stuff, then I don't know where this number would be of how many people have actually been through this program, how many end users. But I'm not going to try and do the maths on that. I'm going to bring it all the way back to simply the 400 people that have come and used this system. And I'm going to lowball the fuck out of it. Let's just say that over all the time that they've been using this and the principles that we teach, they ran lowball it to hell 30 clients each on average. Are there clients that have run hundreds of their clients through this? Of course. But let me just lowball it. That's 12,000 end users that have experienced a mindset and body transformation by being ran through the behavior change coaching blueprint, the 12-week behavior change blueprint. That's 12,000 people. We have some data to show that this works. And for me, it is the single best methodology that you can use with online clients. And it's the single best methodology that you can use and be ethical when people are paying you high prices. So listen, I thought I'd go through those three important pillars: the creation of the program, the marketing and the getting the leads and the making the sales, and the delivery of the program. This specifically was for people that are in the gym, they are personal trainers, and they're going to be busy. So there's so many misconceptions about time. The creation of the program, we need to decide how we're going to do this. Most people just have this belief, because of the reason I told you, that that's how the biggest mentors in the industry suggest that you do it. And you're kind of just going in there and you're kind of just replacing the personal training income with income online, but it doesn't actually get you anywhere. It's based on sort of low education type of online. It's based on just, I can charge them $50 per week for this. And I'm like, that for me doesn't change anything. It's almost like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. You just happen to be doing it behind a screen as opposed to in the gym. It's not going to change anything. We need to do something that's a paradigm shift and a total change. And that is, I'm going to literally triple, quadruple how much money I'm making from my units of time in the week. If I want to get out of the gym, the thing that I don't have is time. The thing I do have is knowledge and experience. So I'm going to be one of those guys who's experienced in a personal trainer and have a bit of confidence that, this makes sense. I could go low ticket, so low price, low value. I could go high price, high value. I could go high value, low price. That is a disaster. So then I could choose between these two: low price, low value, high price, high value. You make that decision. My decision was always, I actually want to be able to support my clients. I want to be able to give them the guidance and my experience. I'm going to do it with a small select amount of clients. I'm going to create a business around that where I am perceived that as an industry expert. I'm not just going to sell cheap programs to people that don't really do it. Then there's the idea of how do I start thinking about the marketing and the sales of this? We've all been indoctrinated. You've been indoctrinated. Everyone's been indoctrinated by these Facebook ads, these big people. It's like, yeah, that's great, and I think it's fantastic. But it might not be where you are right now. That's the shift for you. Shift your thinking about what I need to think about to hit multi-six figures. Facebook ads, all of these funnels, email marketing, all of this, which is fantastic. You definitely need to do that at some point if you want to get there. But for this point, let's just bring it back to what you would do with a client when they started. You're not going to probably be putting them under the bar for 10 sets of 10. Just bring them back to that. That's what I'm going to do for you. What would you do if in the next 90 days you could open up your bank account app and you got an extra 10 grand? Is it going to get you a Lamborghini? No, but what difference would it make to you? The question I had before, I want people to put in the comments which version they want to go for. Low value, low price. High value, high price. High value, low price. Put it in the comments. Don't just listen, don't just watch. Actually put it in the comments. Which version would you choose to go for? And by the way, if you've already done this, put in the version that you've already done and that you're already doing. I would love to hear that as well. We talked about the going out and just really focusing on getting that first cohort, launch a case study launch, 6 to 10 clients, cash, confidence and clients, and then you get case studies, right? And eke yourself out of the gym because you got some new cash and you got some more money and you get some confidence. You know what? And then maybe like I did, you could start thinking about, I don't want evening clients. First thing that I did, stopped working with clients after 2 o'clock. Get yourself a latte, Sit down in the coffee shop and coach your clients. And then the last one about like how long it takes of your week, how much headspace, how all over the show this is going to be, how all encompassing with the delivery. And again, it's because that's how most people do it. If you've tried it, if you've seen other people doing it, they're padlocked to laptops. It's because they don't actually know how to create deep mind shifts with their clients. And part of that is you create good clients. You can then compartmentalize these clients, that they get a chunk of time in your calendar, and you can fit them in between what you're doing in the gym as well. You don't need a load. You don't need loads of clients straight away. If you want to go from 3, 4, 5K in the gym, 5, 6K in the gym, who knows, and start eking up towards that sort of 8, 9, 10 from everything by simply adding another income stream in. So here's what we're going to do. At this point, of course, I have a program. If you would like to find out more, we do it very simply. Don't have a link in here where you can book a call. What you do is, I would actually like to have conversations with people. Like, no shit, like I'm a bit old school. I'm going to talk to people. If they want to become my clients, they're probably going to want to talk to me at some point anyway. So there's no link to book a call in this. What there is there's a post, a comment that you can put in the comments. And when you do that, I will personally reach out and we'll talk. This will not be a hungry motherfucker 24-year-old setter that's going to chase you down and come around your house and knock on your window because you put in the comments of high-paid health coaching. That's what you're going to put in if you have an interest. I will then reach out to you and we will have a conversation about where you are, where you want to get to. If you've got any questions, even if it's just like, I don't know if this is right for me and if this is the right time. We will have a conversation, right? If it's not, I'll tell you. If it is, I'll tell you as well. And then what would happen at that point is this is just the first step in a potential relationship for us working together. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you got a lot of value from the on the call and from the training, and I will speak to you soon. Oh, we don't know. Maybe it's not. So I'll keep going with it. We'll book a call in if we decide that we actually want to have a conversation about it. And I'll get on the call. And look, my way of doing this, my way of bringing clients on is that it's a consultative conversation. I wouldn't know anything about whether the program would be right for you unless we speak first. And again, there's lots of people that this isn't right for, right? If you don't believe that change starts in the mind, if you can't get your head around charging, like, what you're worth for the experience that you've built in the industry, maybe there's other options that are better for you.